Let's just be honest. It is harder than ever to get visibility on social media. There are more people getting on every day. There is more content going on social media every day. But the large majority of people are actually trying to bring the time they spend on social media down. And what this leads to is a very simple supply and demand issue. So how do you get seen on social media when the algorithms are overrun? Let's talk about the three things that we use in the social media society to be able to get visibility by the right people. The people who are either going to buy our products or they know someone who could use our products. Number one, we talk about content. Now, this is the one you hear everywhere. Just post more content, viral hooks, trending audios. But here's the thing. We want to create content that is quality content that is not rushed, that does work with each of the platform's preferred content, but we want to be able to create content that is fast to create and simple. Here's the thing, if you want to sign up to be a content creator, you can learn all the editing hacks and all the viral trends and all the different camera angles, but if that's not why you started your business and that's not how you want to show up on social media, you need to learn systems that allow you to produce content faster, systems that allow you to bank content for the days when you don't feel like it, and content that you can reuse over and over again, just tweaking certain things. The next thing that is become more important than ever on social media is a personal brand. People want to know the faces behind the brands and the products that they're showing for. This is the way that you differentiate yourself, what you stand for, what you stand against, your stories, your way of doing things. This is the reason that people would choose you over maybe someone else that does your thing. We also want to solve specific problems. A lot of the content that's not getting visibility in the algorithm is because it is not specific enough for the algorithm to know what the content is about and who it's supposed to get to. So when we start to think about SEO optimization and we start to think about answering the questions that people are asking, and we start to think about, instead of trying to solve 5 different things, we get super specific on one thing. Now the algorithm has a better chance of understanding the topics and what our content is about, so that it can try to push it out to the right people. The next part of this is conversations. Here's the thing, we can't control the algorithm. Yes, we can try and, manipulate it or work with it, but at the end of the day, it's a computer program that decides whether we get the organic visibility, and it doesn't always get it right. So what you need to know how to do is you need to know how to find your people on social media. That's what we need to show you. How do you specifically look for your dream type of client? Who do you interact on? And there are 2 different types of people that we're looking for when we are looking for our dream clients on social media. Number one, we obviously want the person who could potentially be a client. But number 2, the best person to look for on social media is the person who could potentially be your client, but also has a list of your potential leads and clients already gathered, that if you were taking the time to build a relationship with them, they would refer you to their list. So we want authentic conversation starters. Here's the thing, there are a lot of people that are snooping comments that you may never even see, but they're reading the comments on your posts and all different creators' posts. We also want to be the person who is in the comments, because I've often had the thing said to me, oh, you're just everywhere. No, I'm just everywhere where you are, because I know how to find my people and I know how to engage so that I get seen. It also helps other business owners when we're commenting on their content, because not only does it help them get visibility, it helps you to get seen by the author of that post, but also anyone who's commenting or engaging on that post. We want more people to see us, and we can't control the algorithm for the content part of it. But what can happen is when we are authentically engaging with people, whether it be in the comments or maybe we're answering stories, and we're doing it in a way and we're getting into inboxes in a way that's authentic, real, and not spammy, guess what happens? People start to like us. People start to know us. People click on our names, and now we are getting our content seen by more people. This is where it all comes back to referrals. So conversations is the one part that we can actually control. Then the final thing, which is the most important thing, obviously, if you're on social media with a business and you want to make money, and that is conversions. And what we want to do in the conversions part of it is we want to be able to say we only get 200 views. We want to keep increasing our conversations and getting better at content, because let's just be honest, it takes time to get content right. It is a skill set all on its own, and it's not necessarily your message, and it's not necessarily your content. It just might be the way you're packaging it. For instance, unfortunately, yes, it might be your hook. It might be that you need visual things in it. It might be a ton of things that takes time to learn and tweak for your audience, because your audience is different to my audience, which is different to someone who has another type of audience. So that takes time to tweak. But what we want to do is we want to try to increase the conversion rate from views to leads to buyers. And then what we want to do is when we have buyers, we want to try and increase the average amount of money that they spend with us. There is a huge myth out there that you need 10,000 followers if you want to make it, but that is simply not the truth. If you want to have a six-figure income, what happens if you had 52 people that spent $2,000 with you over a course of a year? What happens if you had 100 people that spent $1,000 with you over a course of a year? You do not need huge amounts of followers. What you need is loyal, raving fans and engaged audience who will literally buy from you, and not just buy once, but buy numerous times. So our goal is then to turn our views into leads. And there are systems with automation and strategies that I'm going to teach you how to do this, so that you only get 200 views. But if you can get the conversion rate up on those views, you could get potentially 20 leads. What happens if you turn those 20 leads into 10 buyers? And then you turn those 10 buyers into, say, $470 as your first step. And we talk about all the sales system and the really simple tech that can make this a possibility. Now you've created an extra income stream in your business. And then what we do is we talk about, well, how can we take these 10 buyers and take it from $470 and maybe make it $900? These are strategies that we use to increase the average order value that people spend with us. Then the final part of this from a mathematical perspective is we want to increase the lifetime value of a customer, which means they might spend $300 when they first come to us because they bought the first thing and the second thing and the third thing. But then what we want to do is how can we keep them spending over the course of time so that we increase the lifetime value of a customer with you? Because if you have someone spending every month or you have someone spending every year, now in order for you to grow, you just need to increase the number of people and increase the retention rate. And that's a whole strategy that I won't get into here. But then we want to talk about free lead magnets. A large majority of people are not opening them. And of course, we want to grow our email list. But we want to grow our email list with people who are actually willing to take their credit card out and put money on the table at some point. There are so many people that have huge email lists and they're all freebie hunters. And the conversion rate is somewhere in the vicinity of 1 to 3%. And when email list grows, but you haven't got buyers, you're now paying for a bigger email system, but you're not getting the conversion. So we are going to teach you strategies that allow you to increase your email list with potential leads and potential buyers, not just anyone and everyone. Now you have 3 things that make up the social selling system that allow you to make money on social media. Because if you are on social media to grow your business, you are on social media to make money. And we are going to cover each of these things. And the amazing thing about the Social Seller Society is everything is chunked down. So if you are someone who needs to convert from your stories, we have a whole stories module that is focused on conversion. If you're someone who needs to understand the basics of the algorithm that never change, the weight of the pillars change, but the actual 5 pillars never change, then we have a program on that. Everything is broken up into problems and solutions for that problem. And the best part is that with the Social Seller Society, you can come into the community, you can say, Faith, I'm stuck with this, and I can tell you what trainings to watch so that you are not necessarily wasting your time trying to go through everything. You don't feel overwhelmed with the huge library that is there. The other amazing thing is we are going to have co-working sessions, because here's the thing, content changes. It's not the message that changes, but the type of content changes. If you think about it, Instagram has gone from single images to reels to carousels to reels again. So sometimes the way that we put our method changes per different platforms, but that is something that we need to do dynamically. So we have co-working sessions. If you're someone who wants to have collaborations, I want this to be a community where everybody is helping everybody to grow. And that is what the community part of it's for. And the other amazing thing is we have weekly Q&A threads. So if you get stuck, you can go, I was in this lesson, this is my problem. And between Thursdays and Saturdays, I will come in and either answer you in text or video, depending on the depth of it. So you are getting your questions answered by the person who created the training, not by no one and not by people who have joined a program and maybe are just as confused and overwhelmed as you. You are getting the answers directly from the source. If you're someone who is interested in stop trying to piece it all together, if you are someone who wants the person who created the course, the person who's in the ditches with you, that's testing and trialing this concepts out, who is actually working in the trenches with you, then join the Social Seller Society. I would love to have you in, and I would love to help you to be able to grow your social media sales, not the vanity metrics, but to grow your visibility with the right type of people, to grow your conversations so you have potential of connections and collaborations, and of course to grow your conversions, because if we don't grow our conversions, at the end of the day, social media will feel like a complete waste of time that we don't want to show up on. I'm excited to work with you in the Social Sellers Society. See you on the inside.